All right. So here is a little look into AQUBA, the new hologram Tron inspired vaporwave main multicade that I've been working on. As you can see, I've just gotten we got the Burj here, we got pyramids at Giza, and they're both in a vaporwave sort of aesthetic. And then we're putting elements of Art Deco in there as well. Sort of a little bit of a Xanadu. There's a lot of influences. Anyways, so we also got a Tron stick over here and lit up buttons. I'm not 100% sold on these buttons. They're a little bit high up and they're very clicky sounding. But you know, they're okay, but they're pretty as all heck. So I may stick with them, I may not. And then I also have a high-low spinner here. And as you can see, it's mounted, all the hardware is mounted from below. I was able to take the spinner off using this little bit right here and mounted it from below, and then I'll put it back on. And then I'll be replacing these screws with these type of the black screws. I also need to get a square screw punch or a file or something like that so that these will be more flush. But I'm not going to worry too much about that until I repair a bunch of the holes underneath. You know, finalize my my button setup, bondo all the insides, and then put a whole fresh new control panel down later. So anyways, a lot of people have been asking about the inside, so we're going to go ahead and dive in and take a look. Now, I haven't created a new front bezel yet, so this is a lot of my methodology for how I've been mocking stuff up, is I just use a lot of black foam core to kind of like piecemeal and get an idea of like what's going to block and what's not. Like with this foam core here, I'm probably going to make this come down a little bit more just so it'll cover up the control panel reflection that I'm currently getting right here. And then I might even make this a little bit taller as well. So it'll be more of like a panoramic view, and I might make this just a teeny bit thicker. And then I haven't come up with the designs, but this is sort of my methodology for mocking up designs. So I'm going to start taking some of this stuff. Forgive the camera if it moves around while I'm putting some stuff aside. This right here was the old bezel for, I guess it was a police trainer. It was originally a Primal Rage machine. And then it was converted to a police trainer. And, well, frankly, I just didn't want a police trainer anymore. So I decided to work on this project. And, okay, so the monitor. So the monitor is, I cut this front square part out of the original shelf that the monitor used to be kind of in here. So I cut this part out, and then I painted basically the whole inside of it with this Stuart Sempe. Well, I did the first couple coats with the number 2 black, but now I've been starting to use the black 3.0, which is really nice. And this is kind of like the blackest black matte black you can get on the market. So I've got this bottom board here, which is at an even steeper angle than prior to that. And then I've been slowly raising it up until I got the monitor just the right height. And then the monitor itself has a little bit of a tilt control, so I can kind of dial it in from there. At the moment, it's not clamped on. As you can see, that just goes all the way down into the cabinet down below. And this is basically a 5x3 LCD monitor. So the angle itself, as you can see, the monitor goes pretty much right up to where the glass is going to be. It's going to be really close. And then we get into the mirror, which is a two-way mirror. What I did was I work in a frame shop, so I was able to use a whole bunch of acrylic that I had on hand, and then I bought some two-way mirror vinyl and applied that, and it did a pretty good job. If you get really close in here, you might see a bubble or two, a little tiny bubble like right about here. It's not too distracting. I don't really notice it when I'm playing the games. At some point I might cough up to have Tap Plastics make an acrylic. I had tweaked the size of it one day without access to my acrylic cutter, so it's a little rough up here, but this part right here is hidden. So anyways, I'm going to start pulling this out. I'm going to take these out here so that I can pull the actual acrylic out of the cabinet. Give you a better idea of how this is set up. Now right now, the first black light here is inside the cabinet, but it's aimed out, and it's going to be aimed out through the glass, and that's going to cause, that helps the Tron stick to glow in anything that I might have out here on the panel. And then over here you'll see that this is daisy chained to a second LED monitor over here, and that basically is going to shine onto the internal bezel in here. As you can see with this internal bezel, all this is just printed in sort of a wine-like color, which comes out more violet in here. And then I've been adding neon Sharpie slowly but surely to this. I'm kind of going slow as we go to decide how much I want to put in. And then I think I'm going to put another daisy chain UV light in here, so that one of them is going to hit the top part, and then the other one can be aimed more at the bottom. So anyways, this bevel in here is sort of a newer, and it's basically facing forwards, and it allows you to kind of like, it blocks the edge of the skyline over there, but it also creates the illusion of the skyline being farther off in the distance. So the bezel really adds a nice foreground aspect to it. And then, so this is almost 90 degrees, but it's actually facing forward a little bit. And then the other one, the mirror goes from this bottom little lip right here all the way to up here where it will come in contact with the mirror holders that are usually in place right here. All right, so let's take this out. And I basically printed this thing out at Office Depot for about 15 bucks. And then I wet mounted it to some mat board, and then reinforced it with more mat board on the back, and kind of painted it all black along the edges, so that it's really nice, clean looking. Okay, so now we're into the back part. And this is the back glass over here. The back glass actually is facing more backwards, where everything else was more facing forwards. This one, if you were to go, it's about 33 inches upwards, and then maybe 2 inches back or so. So it's kind of a tight angle. It's not really leaning back super far. But I was trying to, you know, give it a little bit more of an illusion of distance by having it leaning back some. All right, so this backing right here is basically the vinyl that one of the members of the arcade forum, Dan, I forgot his last name, but I'll put his notes in his name in the notes. But he is doing vinyl printing, really nice work, and I have applied that vinyl to opaque white plexi, which I'll show you right now. And then I even had them add a little notch. I had plastics add a little notch to the plexi up here. They ended up putting another one down there, but that's fine. And not only does it allow the wires to go through, but it also helps to when you're reaching in to pull this out. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out, and now you're going to see how much light is actually behind that bezel. Oh, that's bright. Okay. Now, once again, this is sort of my methodology, is that I mock stuff up with foam core. And I have 2 LED strips. One of those strips is at the line that kind of goes across where you see the sun here. It's just right about there. And then there's another one that's aimed upwards that kind of like hits more the bottom part of the screen. So, and as you can see there at the bottom of the cabinet, that's actually more like a good, I would say a good 6 inches where the bottom part of this back part goes all the way to the top part. So, yeah, this back panel actually leans back quite a lot more like good 5 or 6 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and start to put that back in here. And yes, I understand there's a little bit of cable management that needs to be worked on, and it's going to be a little bit too difficult to put everything back into place, because this back panel is easier to put into place when I have the back open. So that's pretty much the inside of the cabinet. I'll be more than happy to do another video at some point once I have some more details, but hopefully that helps give some aspiring people some ideas on how to go about doing something similar like this. All right. Anyways, have a good night. Take care.